Welcome to yet another tutorial for Python in which we are going to learn about functions. We will learn what are functions, why do we use functions, what are the various types of functions, how to create functions, what are the parts of the function, how to define a function, how to execute a function, and how we can call a function. So before I start, let's learn why do we need functions in any programming language. See, let's take an example to understand why do we need function in programming. Suppose you are working in a company where each year you are asked to develop an app or a software, like a system which can find total marks scored by a student in a school for each course or subject. You have to find the average, you have to find the total marks, then average, and then accordingly you have to assign the grade to the student for each of the test, or you can say the term. Then finally you have to generate the progress report that can be a mark sheet, that can be a grade sheet, right? And this process is to be followed for each and every student of class. And then in a school we have number of classes. So this procedure has to be followed for all the classes. So will you do this thing again and again for each student? No, definitely. And if you think yes, I can do it, then how this statement can be true for a computer where it says that your computer makes your work easier for you. This purpose can be achieved using functions in programming. Here, what you will do, you will create function to calculate total marks in each subject, and then you will find the average. This way you will do it for each subject for term 1, then term 2, and then generate the final grade for that particular subject. Now the same function will be used for all the other subjects for a student, and then you will generate the progress report or the grade sheet for that student. And this way you will find out the grade sheet for all the student of a class. And the same function will be applied for each child for all the classes in the school. So you will define the function once, but you can use it number of times. Take another example. Like suppose you are asked to draw a circle or a square of a particular color. So the user will enter the color and then you are going to draw the circle or square. So here you will not write the command for each and every color, but you will write a function in which the user will pass, or user will enter the color, and then accordingly the circle or the square of that particular color will be drawn. Now what are functions? You pretty much got an idea that why do we use functions or what are functions now. Function is a block of organized reusable code that can be used to perform a single relatable task. Functions provide better modularity, means you have a large program, so you are dividing the program into smaller chunks, or you can say modules. You divided your program into, so for example, one task can be divided into 4 steps. So that particular step can be a module in programming, and then you can use this module a number of times, any number of times, anywhere in other programs as well. So this is the reusability of functions. This way function reduce your lines of code, and then you can concentrate on the major part of your project or the other parts of the project. You have done with one of the function, you have done with one of the module, now you can concentrate on rest of the modules. Then function help you to divide your program into smaller chunks, as I told you before, and the program grows when your program is larger The function make it easier and more organized, and then you can manage the whole program or your software, whatever you're building. Furthermore, it avoids repetition and makes the code reusable. Then we'll come to what are the different types of function Python provides you. There are basically two types of function in Python. The first one is built-in functions and the second one is user-defined function. The built-in function, as its name is telling you, that they are already built in the library or by the Python interpreter. They are already there for you to make your work easier, and they are the part of Python programming language. Like, you use the print statement, print function, where you can use like print, and in the bracket, in double quotes, you can print your message, and then you close the bracket. So this way you can print the message using print statement. Or if you want to print the sum of two numbers, then you will write print within the bracket 2 plus 3, bracket close, and this will give you the result 5. Now, if you are creating a function on your own, then they can be created with the keyword def. Def means define. Okay, so these new built-in functions, the Python interpreter has a number of functions and type built in, and which are always available for you. Just like I told you about print, we have number of functions like len. Len is used to find the length of a string or whatever. And absolute, if you want to find the absolute value of a number, then you can use abs and the function, that is absolute function. Now next we are going to see that how we can create or define a function, or you can when you are creating your own function, they are user defined function because the user is defining it. So for defining the function, first of all, as we have learned, that we use def keyword def, and this marks the beginning of the function. There are different parts: the header, the body, and the header. In the header we define the function using def, and then we give the name of the function and 2 brackets. Function name should be unique and it should follow the rules of identifiers. Rules of identifiers, for knowing them, you can watch the video of variables, how to define variables. I have already made you. I'll give you the description link in the description box. Then you can also, then within the brackets we can write some arguments, or they are also known as parameters, through which we pass values to a function, and they are optional. For example, as we have learned about print, if we write print within the bracket 2 plus 3, so that is an argument in that. If we are writing in double quotes hello world, that is an argument in a function. We are passing values to a function. They are arguments or parameters, but they are optional. Then after that, we after giving the name of the function and bracket, we put a colon to mark the end of the function header, and then we write some statements in the body of the function, like what this function is going to do. So if you are creating a function to find the area of the function, then area of a rectangle, then it will take 2 values, length and breadth, and then it will multiply them, and it will store the result in a variable, and that variable which is storing the result of multiplication of the length and breadth will be displayed. So these are the statements which make up the body of the function, and each statement in the body of the function must have some indentation. Okay, and then we last statement could be the return statement, which is also an optional statement. After that, as I told you that there are different parts like header, we have then body, and then we have the return statement. Then you can also, when you define the function, after giving the header, means after giving the name of the function followed by the colon, you can also give the you can give documentation about the function, that is known as docstring. Docstring means documentation string, which tells you like what this function exactly does. Okay, so like if this is kind of a statement for defining the function, as I told you, def is the keyword, then you write the name of the function, we should follow the rules of the identifier. Then these parameters you pass within the bracket. They are optional. If you want to pass, you can, otherwise you can leave it as it is, followed by the two columns. Then docstring, what this function actually does, you can write it within these triple quotes. These triple quote means you can write multiple line comment over here, then followed by the statements. This is how you define a function. Like over here, I have created a function def greet. The name of the function is greet, and here I am passing a variable, a value name, followed by a colon. Then this is the docstring. I'm just telling like what this function actually does. This function greets to the person passed in as a parameter. So for example, then I'll have closed these docstring with these three quotes. Print, then within the bracket whatever you want to print a message, you will write in double quotes. Now the name of that argument or parameter which you have passed in this function will be given as plus the same name of the argument and plus and whatever the message you want to pass. So if I have created this function, I'll save it in the Python program, and if I want to execute it, then I'll just write greet, the name of the function, and I'll pass a value in this. Because it's a string type, that's why I have to give in double quotes whatever the value I am giving. Then it will print this message hello, and it will take name whatever the user has passed. Like over here the user has passed Poonam, so it will print the name Poonam and then good morning. This is how this function is being called. The arguments are passed into the function, and this is how the function is being executed. So this is what all is about the function, basic about the functions in Python. We'll learn about more and more in the coming tutorials. Till then, keep learning, keep watching, keep sharing, and subscribe, like, share.